Welcome to the Left Hand Society. We are a queer, friendly, neurodivergent, nerdy podcast made by weirdos for weirdos, and anyone else who might be listening. I'm Ravi.
And I'm Patrick.
And I'm Steve.
And we're your hosts.
So true.
And tonight, we will be talking about ... I don't know. We haven't decided yet.
So
we sort of didn't.
What is that? That's
ellipses.
Ellipses. There's the nerd in all of us. That we know that, and you know what an ampersand is.
I'm supposed to be the writer though, and
Yeah.
I'm the one who lost the word ellipses.
Yeah, see, but those are the dumb shit that sticks in my brain for no good reason. When is that information going to come up? When you're doing
Now,
a podcast
right
when
now.
you're 34 fucking years old.
Right fucking
now. You know what's weird? I don't know why this is important or if it is even at all, but I always felt like ellipses was a weird word for the ... I felt like it fit something else better.
So it makes sense to me because it reminds me of an elliptical where you're running. And so, like, ellipses, it's still a run on.
Oh, like there's
okay.
like, it's like noted footsteps
yes,
or
exactly.
like
Like, to me, it's the sentence going, like, footsteps and?
It made me think of a circle, like an ellipse.
Oh, like elliptical.
Elliptical.
Well, not elliptical.
So I always
is
thought it
straight.
would fit, like, parentheses. Not parentheses, see, I'm doing it again. What are the round ones called? They go around
A side thought? Like, around a side thought, those are parentheses.
No,
Those
are
aren't
parentheses the...
No, that's quotation marks.
Quotations.
Oh, we have to do a refresher course for Patrick.
Wow.
And
Hi, everybody. This is your spelling and grammar podcast.
I've written...
Right.
Hi there, I've written 3 books, and I don't know what parentheses are.
That's okay.
That's fine.
I was a teacher, and so, you know, I can put on my teaching out. What the hell is a teaching
The teaching
outfit?
hat.
The teaching
Yes,
outfit.
I'll put the teaching hat on.
Actually, there is one thing for
Come
each
along,
of those.
students.
A teaching hat is like the
The-
board.
Because
Because
yeah,
they would
like
wear
a
those in
graduation
traditional
cap.
colleges, and they would wear, like, you know,
The gown.
The gown. That's
Yeah.
like what a traditional.
Oh, yeah,
educator
yeah,
used to
yeah, okay.
wear it like
You
a.
can't
So there is a
believe-
teacher outfit.
You can't
Prof.
believe, because whenever you get your doctorate from your various fields and colleges, they're unique to that specific school from that specific college. And so the really cool thing is at college graduations, you see all of the professors up in the front wearing completely stark different gowns as opposed to the standard black that everybody that's getting their degree, their diploma.
See, I'm like so into that because it's like wizard college.
That's exactly what it was like. And you can't believe how fucking disappointed I was whenever we were getting ready for that whenever I graduated with my bachelor's.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, wait, I don't get the cool... What do you mean I don't get the cool thing?
I want the Council of Wizards. You're not a master.
Yeah, I want the weird ass teal with gold accented like tassels.
I'm wearing black. This is bullshit.
That's like I tried to get so many things that I could have added to it. Like, oh, cum laude, I can get a rope for cum laude. Hell yeah, I'm putting that on.
Yeah.
Like, I took everything I could because I just wanted to be like,
I'm wearing black. I'm accessorizing. Breakfast at Tiffany's, bitch.
right.
So what's everybody drinking tonight?
I am drinking the remnants of my camping trip cooler.
Mm.
I bought 2 full, like, 24-pack cases of different seltzers. So I have a White Claw watermelon, which I'm about to start after I finish my mango raspberry mighty swell.
Okay. I'm drinking Yingling Oktoberfest, which I didn't even know was a thing.
I didn't either. Whenever
Yeah.
I went in to pick it up, you said Yingling. I don't drink Yingling, which that might touch on some people's.
Well, only if they live here.
Yeah, because this is Pittsburgh.
no.
This is
We're in
Yingling
Pittsburgh,
Central.
so this is Yingling, Pittsburgh.
I will never, like, judge people for your beer choices unless your beer choice is something like Genesee Light. Or
What is
Natty
Genesee?
Light. Don't worry about it. That's what it is.
It's like
I've
Natty
only ever.
Light.
It's worse than Natty.
Fucking Natty Light.
It's like I wish it tasted like piss. That's how tasteless.
The
it
only
is.
thing Natty Light is good for is cooking.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Okay, let's touch on that one.
And kink friendly. We do not kink
Oh,
shame
absolutely
here. We
kink friendly.
we
No.
ask questions.
But I didn't realize that was one of our kinks. I was doing it too. So the what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so what we're going to talk about today was specifically our individual neuro idiosyncrasies, like what we're hyper focused on.
Yes. Well, I thought that could be like a thing in the future that we do each episode. That's like,
Well, that's the plan.
If you have a current hyperfixation, what is it? So like we need a name for this segment.
Okay, well
we're gonna do that live.
We can workshop that offline.
We'll figure that out from here on out. But we are this is going to be our first attempt at that kind of segment. Then I guess.
Okay.
Do either of you have? I have nothing really right off the top of my head that
I do.
Like, chewing on.
I do. But go ahead.
Oh well.
No, I don't.
No,
so you have nothing. You guys have nothing that you're.
We have nothing.
I do, but it's like I'm gonna be like I'm working on this costume for a wedding, like
Right? Sure, that's fine.
But
that's
you
great.
came in hot.
Yeah, you did exactly.
I'm a little curious now.
Erogoro. Erotic
Gesundheit.
So the way that he just said that, I was like, yes, when he kicked the helmet in Lord of the Rings and broke his toe.
I remember. I remember that part of the book when Guro comes in and becomes the king of kings.
Strider at first,
Strider.
So say that one more time. That phrase.
Erogoro.
Okay, and that stands for
erotic grotesque.
Erotic
grotesque.
So it's a type of manga. It's a very niche type of manga. That is. It's
how dare you step to my domain?
See, I slipped right in.
Not for this Erogoro, but manga.
Erogoro it's like it's hard to explain, but it's almost like a fetish, but it's not exactly like a sexual fetish. It's like, I mean, it can be, I guess, there's a lot of Erogoro stuff that is borderline. Or not even borderline, just full on hentai.
Yeah.
But the stuff that I really get into is even more almost medical.
Well, I think we probably have something like that in the Western world, in the sense of snuff films and things like that.
No, this is.
Or is this further?
This goes further.
Oh.
Yeah.
How is what is it? They fuck your soul. We have that too. It's called Hellraiser.
Imagine Hellraiser if all the stuff that's imagined they showed in detail.
Well, I just meant about going how do you go further than it being like snuff films where you kill people? It's like what's worse?
Taking them apart, putting them back together in weird ways.
I feel like that's still a snuff film.
So I say it's almost medic. It's almost clinical. It's almost medical. Yeah.
Human Centipede.
Okay.
Wait! Isn't that kind of...
It is, but
I'm trying to understand the genre here, and I know that's not a manga.
We're putting it into perspective.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right, because Human Centipede is that sort of thing. The exhalation of distaste from me has nothing to do with it. It has more to do with the fact that I hate those films.
Oh, they're fucking awful. Have you ever seen them?
I thought that was the point of Like this is B horror, isn't it? Like
it's like F horror.
but isn't that the point? Is that it's
really bad,
beyond absurd?
No, well, yes, you're right, but at the same time, for me personally, you know how some people are with blood, that are they're grossed out at the sight of blood.
Yes,
I feel that way. I feel that way about shit.
Oh, okay. Yes. Well, I thought you were going to just say, buttholes.
So, a movie... No, buttholes are fine.
Oh, no, nothing wrong with a good butthole.
It's what comes out of them that I'm not fond of.
That's very understandable. Just recently, I was scrolling through, Twitter or something, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is pretty hot, porno Twitter, because that's the only reason I'm on Twitter is for porn. And scrolling, I'm like, oh, that guy's cute. What's he about to do? Oh, that's poop. And just unfollow.
Yeah, see, even you just saying that, it's the way that some people get squeamish about when somebody talks about something really gory.
Well, that's a line that I definitely draw.
Yeah.
I'm into some funky fresh stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm also into that too. We've established all three of us.
As long as it's clean. It's gotta be clean.
Gotta be fresh.
Gotta be fresh.
Oh, what a fucking conversation. Welcome to the second episode of the Left Hand Society. Brought to you by Astroglide.
And I was telling Ryan,
hey, whoa. If we listen, Astroglide, if you actually enjoy the words that are coming out of our mouths, by all means sponsor us.
Yeah.
I'd be so down to
for that record, any other
Eros, whoever else wants to.
Yes, any lubrication.
Any other anal lubricant specifically. Gun oil, if you're listening. Oh wow, I like that this episode went from hyperfixations to sex.
Well, I mean that.
Wait, ¿por qué no los dos?
No
Exactly.
comprende español.
Why not both?
Yeah, why not?
Ah, see.
In other words, like you from hyperfixation to sex. I mean, when did we?
That's valid.
We're in the same valley.
That's valid.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
I hyperfixate on. That's what I hyperfixate on like grotesque erotica. So
is this like, so this is manga? This isn't written.
it's manga.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's not like reading a novel or a novella.
It's
It's
manga.
It's like reading a backwards book.
Yeah.
Yes, that is what manga. Well,
I have read one manga.
Which one?
One, Death Note.
Oh my god.
Did you read the whole thing?
Yeah, whole
it's
thing. Read the whole
fantastic.
Death Note.
I love it.
I watched the whole Death Note. In fact, actually, my Death Note journey was I saw the live action film that they did.
Really?
Not the newest one.
Oh,
the
okay,
old
okay,
one.
okay. The older one
the
is
old one
okay.
with a sequel
Yes,
when they were actually
yes.
Japanese, and I saw both of those in one night while stoned. And I was like, "That's a fucking awesome concept."
You don't like Kevin Bacon as your friendly neighborhood
Haven't seen it.
demon?
Haven't even seen that one. And I thought it was Willem Dafoe.
Or was it Defoe?
It's
I
Dafoe.
think it's Willem
I
Dafoe.
I always
I was like, please don't tell me that was
all
fucking
right,
Kevin
the
Bacon.
Defoe and the who did I say?
You said
Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
I think Defoe and Bacon. A lot of
What-
similarities.
what I-
What
like
in
to-
what way?
I
It's
would-
just in appearance, in candor, in tone.
I can't say I agree with you, unfortunately.
Yeah, no,
No?
I don't see it. At
No,
all.
I don't see it at all. Like, Kevin Bacon, like, comes off as a douchebag. Willem Dafoe doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to have some beers with Willem Dafoe. I'm
Yeah.
afraid that, like, you know, Kevin Bacon would just be like, I drink cranberry juice, I'm gonna roofie yours. Like,
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
Wow,
that's
Kevin.
Like, I don't know. I just don't. Like, I have nothing really against the man. I'm just like, no, I really like Willem Dafoe.
I never got that.
Kevin Bacon.
I never. Well, okay. Admittedly, I don't like. I'm not into celebrities in the sense of
Yeah.
like
You don't get starstruck.
hounding them and like, oh my
Oh,
god,
hell
they
no.
did it. They did an interview with
Oh, no.
like Hollywood 11, and you've got to go watch it. Like,
The-
I'm not into that stuff.
The only celebrity I ever had that kind of interest in was She Who Must Not Be Named. So,
Yeah.
like aside from that, like, I've never given a fuck either. Like, I think that's what surprised Tom Felton when he came to my house, because I think he expected me to be like, oh my god, you're
Yeah.
California! And I was like, yeah, cool, nice
Like,
to meet you.
Doing hits out in the car, like, oh my god, these fucking kids.
Yeah.
I feel like if I was famous, I would prefer to meet people that were just like, "Hey, I like your movies, cool," and not like throwing themselves.
I was like, I would
really
think they
pleasantly
would
surprised.
be.
that I would feel more
super happy.
comfortable around people.
Yeah.
Like that.
No, there are like very few celebrities that I would want to, if I saw in public, would want to go up to and be like, I really enjoy your work. That's all I need. No, don't need a selfie with you. Just wanted to tell you that.
Yeah.
You know.
But my point being that, like, I don't know Kevin Bacon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, other than he plays characters in the Graboid movies, and like that's one of my favorite. Was he in the second one, or was he only in the first
what
one?
movies?
Graboids. It's Tremors.
Tremors.
Oh, I was like, wait, Graboids. Is that like Tremors? Like, cause yeah.
That's Bacon, right?
Well, that's
Yeah.
what they're called.
Yeah.
Graboids.
I didn't know.
Yeah, and
I should have known
and,
that. I've seen so many.
And
of those
Defoe
movies.
is
No, but yes,
Spider-Man.
He's also. Have you ever seen The Boondock Saints?
Yeah.
Yeah, he also is in
Yes.
drag in that movie, which is fucking incredible.
But-
he plays a gay character. It's
The
really
funny-
problematic.
Yeah.
But him and Willem Dafoe in drag, I'm like, how you boys were really needing pussy, weren't you? Because I would, if I saw Willem Dafoe in drag, I'd be like, baby, that's a man. No, you're not fooling anybody.
but I don't know. I could see those two playing like sibling roles.
I don't see it.
Here I am.
Okay,
that,
I could see them being related.
Actually, like, yes, in a family movie, I could totally see them putting them as some sort of
Yeah.
relative. That I can see that.
I watched that movie.
I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know in relation to both of them, their ages or anything like that. I'm thinking of them from their prime years in films and things like that. But
I couldn't either.
um,
honestly.
that
Well,
being said, if either of them, like, I don't know anything about the personality or like the private life of these particular celebrities. If either of them are canceled, like veto. Don't.
I can't say either, but from what I've heard, I think Willem Dafoe is actually a really nice guy.
I've heard that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
Kevin
I'm like,
Bacon, I don't know. I just know that he likes to show his penis a lot.
I know that I am
Well,
only.
who doesn't?
Yeah.
I know that I am only 2 degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys remember that thing,
Of course.
right?
Yeah,
okay.
6 degrees of Captain Bacon.
Right, so I'm only 2 degrees of him. I was at a bar one night when I lived in Kent, Kent, and this girl that I knew from one of my classes came up to me, and she was like, I met Kevin Bacon in the co-op earlier, and he shook this hand. Do you want to touch it? And I was like, yes, I will be 2 degrees away from Kevin Bacon.
I think that 2 degrees from Kevin Bacon is actually not that hard.
I don't feel like it is.
She wiped bacon juice on your hand. Bacon grease.
Is that a thing for...
I don't know.
I don't know. Do you know he's in a band, though? He plays in a band with his
bacon
brother.
grease. I was like, is Kevin into like breakfast, like big
have.
breakfast guy? Like, what are you talking about?
His last name is Bacon.
I know.
It was a dad joke.
Oh yes,
I enjoy it more now.
Yeah, no, he was apparently a nice guy.
Kevin?
Yeah, he's in a band with his brother.
I don't
they're,
even.
They're in a band. That's why they were in Kent, is they were performing at Kent Stage. They were playing it because him and his brother are in a band, and it's called the Bacon Band or Bacon Brothers, I believe.
Aww,
yeah,
Bacon Bits.
The Bacon Bits.
No, that's the kids' band.
Yeah.
We are the Bits. The Bacon Bits. All right, so
I just imagined Hanson.
So,
Kevin Bacon hair.
clinical.
Don't talk shit about Hanson.
I wasn't talking shit about
clinical,
Just what
medical. Like we're dissecting the fuck out of people.
Yes, back to the point.
But it's like
Junji Ito.
Oh, Junji Ito.
I'm actually familiar.
Borderline Aragoro. Like
in some of his
things.
Yeah.
That's actually how I found out about like the weirder Aragoro. Because I'm a huge Junji Ito fan. Okay. And so like and anybody at home, like if you're a fan of either horror or manga, you need to read Junji Ito.
With an asterisk that it's intense stuff.
Oh, it is very intense.
I mean,
that's what I've heard.
I know there are a few stories from Junji Ito that I've read, but the one that I won't go into any more detail, This Is My Hole, It Was Made for Me.
Oh, This Is My Hole. That's what is the name of that? Something of the mystery of something prefecture.
Yeah.
I always forget the name of that one.
I love you so much.
You know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't at all. Just you being like or what was it again?
This is my hole. It was made for me.
Oh, that is the title. Oh,
no. That's not the title. That's just the iconic line of the manga.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh my god. Okay.
I thought you were. Hold on. Let me give you.
Do you want to spoil this? Okay, spoilers.
Okay, hold up. How old does something...
I don't know. It's such a good story.
Let me give you my perspective there real quick.
Tell me what you think
This Is My Hole, is what you said, right?
This is my hole. It is made for me.
I thought you said... The name of the manga is This Is My Hole, and you yourself went, it's made for me. And I was like, oh, really? Like, I'm intrigued by this, and I at least want to see a few shots of the comic.
Hey, I think I have read at least a couple that are plays on This Is My Hole. Those we're not talking about on this podcast, or at least not right now.
We might.
Actually, I guess you're talking about Aragoro.
Yeah.
So
I am just saying that's what I'm saying, or that's what I thought you were saying, and so that's why I was really like cracking up there for a second.
Funny.
As long as you put a spoiler warning on it, we're gonna ruin the manga right now.
Is that what we want?
Can we real quick?
It's a short story.
I feel like something that we should actually discuss when it comes to this podcast, okay, and with our listeners as well, is that anything that we talk about here, fucking spoilers. We are not, unless it is a new something coming out, like I never want to spoil shit for people that we all might be watching at some point, you know, like if Game of Thrones were coming out right now and it was still good, you know.
I'm trying to think of something that's like relevant to that.
But that's what I mean. We should have like, you know, things that we don't talk about because they're too new, but then everything else is on the fucking table.
Here's a couple that are hot off the presses from the House of Mouse. The Ahsoka series for Star Wars, and the Loki series is getting its second season very shortly.
Ahsoka hasn't had its first.
No, Ahsoka's...
What I'm saying is Ahsoka is premiering, and Loki season 2 is coming.
Yeah, and that...
in short order. I just know that I just saw that.
Oh, so go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Well, David Tennant's back on Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah.
For 3 episodes.
Yeah, but it's still David Tennant.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, but
it is an
even bigger deal, though. Catherine Tate's back on Doctor Who for 3 episodes.
Way bigger deal.
Oh, come on.
No, look, that is my favorite duo.
No, I love... Okay.
And I was a fan of Catherine Tate before.
No shade on Catherine Tate. Okay, no, but it's not a bigger deal than David coming back.
I was saying
it was a bigger deal that they're getting both.
Okay, and Captain Jack.
Yes,
Jack Harkness is back too.
I forgot about him. He's one of my patronesses that live inside me. It's just honestly, not even like Jack Harkness, but John Barrowman.
Well, that's what I even said. Like John Barrowman. Honestly, if I was going to go full gay for something,
John Barrowman.
John Barrowman is
I love
amazing.
him so much.
Have you ever seen John Barrowman on
Naked? Yes,
what's
I
it
have.
called?
What? Sorry.
What? Wait, hold up. Stop the podcast. Wait.
Not.
You've seen The Gentleman Naked?
Yeah, plenty of times.
In what?
In what?
Shark Attack 3. Not full frontal.
Oh.
Yeah.
the two card-carrying queers in this podcast
just looked at each other with such disappointment.
We were the saddest two people in this entire house for a brief moment. Oh yeah. Have you not seen John Barrowman naked? Not full frontal.
No, he's. I mean, to be fair, he's been naked in a lot of stuff.
Oh, I'm sure he has.
I think he was naked in Torchwood a number of times.
But they only showed the butt.
But that's what I'm. Well, he was still naked.
Yeah, not naked.
Show cock cowards.
Yeah. And hard cock at that.
Yeah.
Because Game of Thrones was like, here's a penis. It's soft.
Cheers to
Come
that.
on,
Yeah.
come on, Barrowman, cock up.
Yeah. For us.
So the
Yes, please, and make it free and accessible. Send it to our emails.
Also,
dude, it's the internet. Everything's free and accessible.
Wait. There's
No, it's
there's consensuality issues to worry about whenever it's on.
No, I look for it in movies, not in like paparazzi.
Yeah, like I don't want to see accidental caca, but like
Again, I want to.
If John Barrowman was like, "Hey, floppa, this is me."
I took that
like,
a different.
okay.
I thot you were saying like behind a paywall.
Oh no.
I was gonna say paywalls don't stop me.
You're the juggernaut of porn.
I am the juggernaut of porn.
The juggernaut of porn. I'll run right through your fucking paywall.
I'm the juggernaut, bitch. Wow.
I'm in your walled garden, fucker.
Even what's better, no, you end up in the wrong porn by doing that. You're like, oh, that's not what I was into. That's how you end up in scat porn, Patrick.
That's
it's juggernaut.
Wait. But maybe that's why Patrick has such an eclectic taste. I mean, he just dove in, he broke through the wall, and saw what they were doing, and was like, well, I'm going in. Like,
oh yeah.
And sometimes I'm sure that it ends in tragedy.
It ends in tears.
Yeah.
Wait,
and a limp dick. And a limp dick.
Everybody hits the wall at a certain age whenever they're looking at enough porn that you hit the wall. No. And you find like the thing that's like, oh, actually, nah.
Oh God! Oh, that wall. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, not the wall. Like, oh, I'm done.
No, that's. I thought.
Never again.
Well, no, I thought.
Hanging up my tissues.
oh no, I've gone too far down the rabbit hole.
I'm not sure.
I have descended to reference earlier.
Yeah.
No, when I find the rabbit hole,
the human centipede.
I
level.
say this hole was made for me.
Oh, and we brought it. Hey, good night, everybody. That was our show. No, I kid. So Junji Ito, am I supposed to spoil?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. We're talking about an old manga.
Like this. I mean, no. You know what? I'm not gonna do it because the Junji Ito anime that's going to cover a lot of his old work is coming out. It might be one of the episodes.
Which one are you talking about?
There's an anime, a Junji Ito anime that's coming out.
It's already out. It didn't cover that.
Oh, it is out?
If it's the one I'm thinking of, yeah.
Oh.
And it was terrible.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, no. So they have not been able to reproduce Ito's work in anime style, in anime form.
I'm not desperately familiar with the artist, but Brian has shown me quite a bit of what he
Well, I've got one of his books upstairs.
Like, I've definitely seen a lot of his stuff, and I can understand why that would not translate into
doesn't.
anime. Like, I could see that being very difficult to translate
Name
that
one.
kind of thing.
Name a good Junji Ito movie or anime.
I don't. Okay, so we touched on this maybe like super duper briefly in the first episode, but I'm going to give a little spoiler alert for our podcast. We have two people, one of which is very into horror on this podcast. Patrick is like the horror dude.
Yeah.
I don't happen to be a horror aficionado. That's not my cup of tea. Like, we're talking about like anime and manga and stuff. I have read a few Junji Ito things, but like that's not my brand. I want to get into horror, but I can't quite make that step. And that's something that we're going to be touching on a little bit in the future, I think.
And kind of same deal with me and anime.
Yeah.
Like, the same kind of thing can be said as, like, I've done some anime. I'm not a huge fan of anime. And that's a big thing for me is that I'm, like, legitimately don't like I actively dislike a lot of anime. You know, it's not just that I, like, can't get into it or whatever. I'm like, no, like, the art style and this is bothering the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
You know, like, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the same thing goes for Trek, right? Like, you're not a real Star Trek.
No, I have no problem with most Star Trek, and I'll
okay.
sit down and watch an episode. I grew up on Voyager. I fucking love Voyager with, like, my entire
Yes,
heart.
we were talking about that,
yeah.
like, not on the podcast.
And I've
before.
watched a lot of other Star Trek, like, you know, when cable was still a thing. Where, you know, oh, it's on, I'll watch this episode of this one season of, you know, whatever fucking Deep Space Nine, you know, like, whatever was available in the 90s.
Deep Space Nine.
What was the one? I
Trek.
always forget. Picard's. What was his?
Next Generation.
Thank you. Next Generation. Yeah. Watched quite a bit of that whenever I was younger. No, I actually like Star Trek. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm the one who is probably not the Trekkie. Or Trekker, sorry.
Is that really?
That's a for real
I
thing.
guess.
That's a for real thing.
See, when I was in
only
Jersey,
you could
everybody
hear an
called them
eye roll.
Trekkies. Even my neighbor, who was a huge Star Trek fan, called himself a Trekkie. So that was the first. When you said Trekkie was kind of a derogatory term. It's the first time I've heard it.
It's
I
gauche.
forgot. I know you had said that, but I forgot about it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, I don't make a big deal.
What is gauche is whenever I used to call myself a Potter Tard instead of a Potterhead.
Ooh.
I was such a PC person in college, let me tell you, and high school.
Same.
We could go into backstories like really easily.
Yeah, if you really want to fucking hate who we were.
Yeah, who we were, but you know,
I've always been perfect.
No,
ever since you popped out.
I was born.
Sweetheart, you are a white man.
I have no sexism.
Who up until
zero. I'm the only human being on Earth who is zero sexist. 0% racist.
No race, no sex.
And I'm perfect because I'm white and not racist.
Well,
that was a joke.
And
we know.
And
the look.
We know.
And this
but we
is,
both
and this
just
is
had,
the
we
final
both just had
episode.
traumatic flashbacks. That we were like, I know he's joking,
yeah,
but
you
I
thought
wanna
that we
hit
were
you.
looking at each other like, oh, Patrick. It was more like we were watching the Nom flashbacks in both of our glasses.
Right. The amount of, white men that flashed in front of me saying those exact same words. It's like that episode, or that one scene in the most recent Star Wars movie, the newest one with Rey, the Luke, the whatever.
Part 9?
Yes, thank you. I don't know, that one sucked. I don't
was it
remember.
Revenge of the Sith or something like that?
Yeah,
No, that was the.
Revenge of the Sith is the third
one,
film.
The 3rd/6th.
Oh my God! How can
if you're going chronologically, or if you're going like in order of release?
Oh, okay. No,
I'm going chronological.
Yeah, no,
the third one. Yes, I'm talking about the 9th.
The 9th one. What was it called?
Yeah, the Sith's back again, baby.
Sith's back. Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget my original fucking point.
Episode 9, Sith 2.
I don't even know why I brought that up now. I brought it up for a fucking point, and we got so stuck on trying to find it.
Episode 9, the Emperor's still alive.
No.
somehow.
You were talking about a thing that.
I don't remember what it was now.
Oh boy.
Emperor's Boogaloo.
Emperor's new boob.
The Emperor's new groove.
No, the Emperor's new Boogaloo.
Yeah. There we go. We got it. We got there eventually.
I remember now. You know,
good.
You know the voices of all the Jedi talking to her at the end of that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened. It was like the voices of every white man.
Yes,
that's
every
my past life. He's saying almost those exact same words.
Oh, that's so fun. And it's funny because it's so like even I had a roommate that I was talking to about it, and I said something along the lines of I had made a comment that everyone was racist. Like, you're racist. And he's
Everyone's
like, and he got so pissed off. And I'm like, no, you don't understand what I'm saying. I'm not calling you a racist.
Right.
I'm saying you as a white man are racist.
And have inherent.
So am I.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Because we're
so,
part of
same.
that, you know what I mean? We're also sexist and biased in many, many different ways.
Dude, I am like weirdly homophobic in ways. I'll like see like, a gay man that like doesn't fall under any stereotype that my brain can place, and my brain goes, he can't be gay. I'm like, yes, the fuck you can. Shut up. Like, or like, I'll still do things like, you know, a guy will tell me he's bi. I'm like, hey, you're just did not picked a side yet. What? Fuck you. You're bi, dickhead.
Yeah.
Bad. You
Bad.
know? Like, I still have those kinds of thoughts. I have a lot of different
Get
thoughts
some
that,
help.
like, I have to quell.
Yeah.
Because, like, I was raised as a white man in America, you know, in a neighborhood where white people are going, all the blacks are moving in, messing everything up.
Yeah.
So, you know.
It's getting awfully dark in this neighborhood.
Ugh.
I had somebody say that to me one time. And I was like, wow.
The worst thing about
Where'd
that
you get
is
that
those
nugget?
kind of, like, shitty racist white people will also, because you are a white man and look a certain way, will try and talk to you about it. Like, they're like, hey, right?
Oh, so
God, that's the worst.
okay, so I am a heavy-set, bald white man. I look like a biker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna lie, first moment that I laid eyes on you,
Yeah.
Patrick, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
Like right off the dome.
sure.
With, like, you know...
No, I'm very aware of how I look. So I cannot tell you how many times that I've walked into a bar and talking to people or something like that.
Yeah, boy.
And people will walk up to me thinking I'm safe.
Right, yep.
Quotation marks
Yep.
around that. But they'll just fucking start divulging disgusting things to me. And I'm like,
Yep. And saying some really awful shit.
yeah, I'm not the person that you think you're talking to.
Yep.
Not like, yeah.
And then there's always that awkward fucking encounter where you're like, no. And they're like, well, what do you mean? Are you one of them liberals? And
Oh, man.
Oh, I've had those. I've
yes,
had that one.
hello.
Yep. Oh, but why do they always want to... Okay, we're not turning this into a political podcast.
No.
We will, like, go over gender issues in politics, but my God, I am not trying to get into that right now.
I'm just saying I've had that
Yes.
experience more times. I think ever since...
I've had a lot, too.
You know, I've noticed it happens less now that I paint my nails. As stupid as that is.
I actually saw somebody talking about how, like, you know, straight man painting his nails is kind of a show of allyship in a way, where it's like, you know, like, oh, we know that, like, you might not be queer, but it's
we're
kind
safe around
of,
you.
we're safe around you, you know. And I I was like, yeah, I kind of feel that way, you know.
I mean, there's a reason that I don't wear pants anymore. I wear skirts and dresses. But I don't wear pants anymore.
Yeah.
Like things with legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Presentation.
I want people to like,
Be very certain of what they're looking
even
at.
if I hate this word, they clock me.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yes, honey, but that is an old phrase. That is from our heritage as queer people, honey.
Here's a pull back to Star Wars. It's an old code, sir, but it still checks out.
Yes, exactly. Yep. Just like transsexual.
Oh, yep.
Yep. That's
yeah.
transsexual.
I think I said transsexual earlier.
You did,
yeah.
But it did. Neither of us like even talked at it. You know.
If you have a person with gray hairs, and they pull out that word,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, it's fine coming from their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't like how it sounds coming out of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, I still call, like, pardon me, but early on here, you know, trigger warning, but, like, I still call myself a fag or a faggot sometimes, because I'm like, that's my word.
I also feel like that's fine.
Yeah.
That's like the same thing when black people use the N-word.
I would also, like, never call somebody else that. Like, I feel like that
Yeah.
word is for me. You know what I mean? Like, I would also never call somebody else a fag or a faggot. You
well,
know,
I feel like it's okay if you're joking. And it's
to
like
a degree.
a gay friend or something. And, you, like, it's...
There have been certain instances that word has been used on me that people I know love and accept me and are only doing it in joke, and I went, that wasn't it.
But were they gay?
No.
Because I don't think
Because
it's
I've
okay for
also
somebody
had-
who's not gay to say.
No, I've also had gay people do that to me too,
And
I'm
it
like,
felt weird?
No, you don't get to use.
I like it's like people in the trans community saying tranny.
I know.
And it's
I
like,
know people that do that.
It's fine if you want to say it. It is like a gay person saying that, or a black person saying the N-word, or things like that. Where it's fine if you're going to say that because it's your word, and if bringing it, if embracing it is going to give you power over it, then by all means do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But for me, I still don't like how it hits my ears, or how it comes out of my mouth, and so I don't say it.
Very understandable.
Which is also your choice.
Well, and I have to say I was recently talking. A friend of mine's car shit the bed recently, and we were talking about it being their transmission. And what does that refer to, ladies and gentlemen? A tranny. Like, because especially, and I'm telling you right now, specifically in text. I'm not fucking typing out transmission.
No, daughter of Detroit here. Yes, I completely get it. If somebody said that in the context of a car, I wouldn't bat an eye.
So it's so close in terms for me. Like it's when I'm typing it or I'm saying it out loud when I'm talking about a car. It's really this similar thing as like learning that Niger was a country. Yeah, right? That's the same kind of like, there's a valley here. Very narrow valley. One of them sides of that valley
I think
is
my
okay.
son even asked me, we were looking at something on geography or something one time. He's like, Dad, what's the name of that country? I'm like, Niger. He's like, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Noted.
Yeah.
I wear that on my like lifetime HUD. It's like words that sound like other words that make sure that you check yourself on.
Do you actually have an internal HUD?
Kind of.
I kind of do
Mine's
too.
not visual, but it's like here.
Yeah, it's like running.
Yeah, I was gonna say I hear a voice. To me, it's a running commentary.
Yeah, like you have your own Alexa inside of you that's like doing things.
Oh my god, guys, we're discovering consciousness.
No, we're sweetie, we're discovering autism, which we all
neurodivergent.
Yes,
we're discovering
neurodivergency. Like you've heard it here first.
Oh, how does your programming system work?
Right.
Like,
I heard the greatest description of neurodivergency as you're running Apple software on a Windows hardware.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts bad.
But you know what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of get it.
Like you're just running the wrong operating system for your computer.
But that's a Fox, too. A Fox is...
Not wrong. A different operating system.
See, but here's the problem.
Realize how bad that sounds.
A Fox is a dog running on cat software.
Yeah.
I don't know why that just immediately reminded me.
Here's the problem I have with your
analogy.
Thank you. Apple sucks.
No kidding. I work for them.
I'm saying you work for Apple?
Worked.
Oh, okay.
Past tense.
So, like, if you were to say, like, you're running Android software on a computer, all right, fine, whatever. But Apple software is fucking terrible. So if you're running Apple software on a PC, you're ruining your PC.
Welcome to Patrick's Hot Takes.
Right?
Wait. Lick. I think that
I hate Apple.
I think it's great products for people that don't want to learn how to use their products.
I'll agree with that.
They do what they're supposed to do.
I think it's been an inconvenient thing my boyfriend uses, and so I've had to learn to use.
I think it works as long as you know how it works, and as long as you are drinking the Kool-Aid of the cult.
Yeah.
You're fine.
You can make it work.
It's a computer for people that don't know how to use computers.
I would actually, I'm going to go ahead and
flip that.
Full on agree with you.
Strike that. Flip it. Reverse it.
Wait. So it's...
What way is it going now, Revy?
I can't...
What way is it going?
I can't...
No, don't do this to me.
I just flipped the motherfucker 4 times, Revy.
I'm so good at doing like directions to a place, but my lefts and rights are so hard for me.
Now you have to forget about it.
Never mind.
We have to move on, and it's gonna torture you for the rest of the night.
All right, you're a real bitch.
I'm a cunt.
Stop the boat.
I do love how this podcast has been like, can we give ourselves any sort of direction? You know what the answer is? No.
I thought the answer was Aragoro.
Whoa!
I really pulled that back.
God, we need to do like a Pee-wee's Playhouse thing where the word of the day.
She said Aragoro.
R.I.P. that weirdo.
Oh yeah. Oh come on, clink one up to fucking Paul Reubens.
Yeah.
You know
what a freaky deaky kind of fella. Love
I was like, didn't we? I feel like we talked about this on the last podcast.
I don't think we talked about it on the podcast.
I think we talked about it.
We've definitely had it in person about how like. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was just gonna say this is the whole purpose of this podcast is to be able to let our madness that happens between the three of us out into the open.
Yes.
Because like even if this podcast goes nowhere and nobody listens. This is just what we do, so this is like...
Yeah, we're going to try to get paid for it.
Yeah, like, we're going to see if people will listen.
No, I just, honestly, I want to, like, I want to see if people listen, and then I want to start putting that recording in the back that we talked about that, like, makes people shit their pants.
Yes.
Oh, shit. Sorry,
our secret... Oh,
the mic's on.
Yeah, that's whenever we really love the scat. Like, suddenly. we
No,
secretly
I'm
were
not
in a
there
cabal
when they
where we
shit their
like
pants.
poop.
No, I'm not there when they shit their pants.
No.
No. Why would I be?
Me neither.
Unless I really didn't
Unless-
like.
Why are you winking?
Unless.
Why are you winking?
Are you having a seizure?
Might have done.
Was that a stroke?
Revy likes poop.
No, I really don't. Oh God, it's going to be like this self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm going to start getting emails.
And on to our next. Next sponsors. Depends.
Paul Rubin. I think you were talking about Paul Rubin.
Paul Rubin and how.
Paul Rubin, Guro, whatever we can talk about. Harry Potter, let's go.
Paul Reubens.
Paul Rubin being a Gilderoy Lockhart-esque Guro writer.
Sewn to someone else's
Why
bottle.
was that
Jesus
image so
Christ.
fucking clear in my head, though? He looked like the spleen.
Oh, fuck.
No, I actually do have spots in my vision.
God, I wish I had actually choked to death on that.
How'd you get here? I choked to death on Paul Rubin. He was dead 2 weeks before that donut.
Listen, I was
question.
into some interesting subcultures.
What about the Paul Rubin subculture?
I don't think there is a specific subculture where people ingest Paul Rubens'
I'm aware of
fecal matter.
I'm aware of that. Just Paul Rubens being mentioned in Refi's like, I was into some really interesting subcultures, and I'm like, just imagining a guy balls deep and someone going,
Ooh, wait. Do that again. Ooh. My glasses are fogging up.
oh, I'm mildly losing my
all right.
shit over here.
All right, Pee-wee.
So the Junji Ito manga
Kids.
that Revy was talking about earlier is known as the Enigma of Amigana Fault.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Oh man.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So fucking
Okay.
funny.
It's about, so they start finding, I think they were doing like a construction site.
There was an earthquake.
Earthquake, that was what it was. And it revealed a cliffside with a bunch of human-shaped holes.
Wait, okay.
Like Bugs Bunny ran at the wall.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
thank
Yeah,
you.
okay.
Continue that.
Wait, what was the alternative? Hold on.
No, I get where he was going.
Pause.
I get where he was going.
Where were you going? Because I said human-shaped holes.
I was like, which orifice? So are these like a bunch of buttholes, or are they a bunch of ear holes? Are they a bunch of noses? Are they a bunch of mouths? Are they a bunch of like,
that would be a completely different manga.
Now I'm into it. Now Junji's got my attention.
Ideas for you, Junji.
Junji-san. Oh my goodness. No, but it revealed a bunch of like Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck
Yep.
holes in the wall. Just like holes stacked on each other, beside
like
each
Steven
other.
Universe kind of.
Singular
I don't
holes.
know if you just.
And they were like, what the hell
Thousands of them.
are these things?
Yeah.
It's impossible for this to have been a natural occurrence, but all signs pointed to it being a natural thing.
Yeah.
And they're researching it, and people are like, what the hell is this? This is creepy anyway, because holes are creepy. And I will take no, like, ball
no,
at that.
I won't like. No,
I'm not going to fight you on that one.
Tryptophilia is one of my personal...
I'm not.
Tryptophobia.
I'm not.
Oh my god, I don't love holes at all. I hate them.
Tryptophobia.
I didn't even catch that you said that.
I'm not tryptophobic. Is that correct?
Tryptophobic.
Yeah.
Ooh, good one. Wait,
I'm not.
I can taste it over here.
It tastes like
Not good.
regret.
Like I shouldn't have been a little lizard there.
But tryptophobia, I'm not tryptophobic, but I can absolutely understand why people are. That is one of those ones that I'm like, I'm a little uncomfortable when I see that kind of thing. But
so anyway, the story, because I'm not going to let this one
keep going, girl, keep it.
I'm going to try and get to the whole finish. Listen, it takes some work.
Yeah.
And only a few people have gotten me there, but I'm trying to finish. A crowd starts to gather. It becomes like this cult thing of like, not like culty cult, like Ieyasu Domine,
But
and
the
then
people
slapping
like
people that are it's a cool thing that everybody's into.
oh yeah. The people are having like a big party underneath the cliffs.
Yes,
and shit.
yes.
Yeah.
It's fucking Burning Man by
And,
Yeah, that's-
and
that's what I'm
eventually somebody gets past the barricade and is like, I've done research. This hole is shaped.
It's not even research. They just know.
They just know.
They just know.
They just know.
When people see them, they're just like,
I
this
got
hole
the
is
Patrick
made for
finger
me.
waggle. I felt like
I'm
I was
sorry. I'm sorry. That was douchey.
I felt no.
Yeah.
I felt like it was my father all over again. No. He's like, I know this hole is for me. This one is mine.
Oh,
And
okay.
and he sorry, I was about to get up to actually do like the thing, but he literally
puts his arms up,
puts
like,
his arms
in a way.
like you know that Japanese game show where they have to fit through
Yes.
the
Oh
poses?
yes, actually, I do.
It's like that, except he perfectly fits.
Yeah.
And he starts sinking in.
Ugh.
And he keeps going.
Ugh.
And going.
And
going.
as they televise it,
He
other people seeing their holes
are like,
Start
oh
to
my
want to,
god,
like,
that one's
take-
mine.
and they become obsessed.
Oh, weird.
And this guy,
Oh, I hate that.
I forget
That gets
the relation
worse.
for the main
Ah.
character. Because there is a main character.
Actually, to be fair, I wouldn't call her the main character.
There's two. There,
When it
it's
comes to Junji Ito stories, a lot of the time there is no main character. They're
Fair.
more of a narrative character. The main character is the story.
well, this guy and girl
I like
who have
that.
found their holes at this like Burning Man experience have like developed a relationship,
Oh yeah,
like a burgeoning relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, well, and people are all getting into their holes and then disappearing, and like nobody knows what the fuck.
yeah.
happens to
That would get so it's almost that's interesting. It's also like the way that I'm taking that immediately is like a metaphor for death, where it's just like, nope, these people were going on. We don't know what that going on is.
It's not, though.
It's even worse.
It's worse.
It's this feeling, this sensation of almost
Inevitability.
inevitability, claustrophobia. Like
That
there's,
inevitability is still death.
It's not.
but so we'll get to it.
You gotta get to the end.
Yeah, I will get to the
Okay.
end. So this guy and this girl are seeing all these people disappear into their holes, and they're elated. People are like euphoric about finding their holes.
Oh,
the
super
beginning
happy
of this.
about
They're
it,
like,
yeah.
oh my god, this is perfect. This is mine. This is
Finally,
this is,
my
this,
hole.
This is what I needed in my life. This completes
And
me.
is it like everybody on the planet, or just like the surrounding region?
I don't think
Or-
they
People
ever
are seeing it on like the
specify?
news and stuff like that, and coming in from out of town. I know that.
Definitely, but I don't know.
But like,
if
I don't know if it's
the
like a
whole
global
world.
thing. But anyway, this guy and girl are developing this relationship, and they're like, okay, tomorrow we're gonna get in our hole. But then like they don't. They have a date, or like they're doing things, and then it's like, all right.
You don't go in the hole until the third date.
Tomorrow we'll get in those holes that are ours. Because that concept of your space, it's such a freaky mental thing.
hole.
It is yours.
Welcome to
And
your
it
hole.
completes you. It's a completion of your role.
The nozzle is calibrating.
And suddenly they're starting to get second thoughts about doing this, because if they go into their holes, that's the end of the journey, right? Or it's the
the end
beginning
of
of
them is
beginning of a new journey.
The end of them as a couple kind of journey.
Yes.
Okay.
And there's this like regret, not necessarily regret, but what are you whenever you're regretful, except you haven't done it yet?
Remorse.
Uh,
Like you're
Regretful of something.
you're like, we had this thing that we were going to do, but then we haven't done it yet.
I just call it anxiety.
I don't know if there is.
Oh hey,
If
that's
there's-
anxiety. We just defined it.
Yeah,
Congratulations,
I was gonna say,
everyone.
if
That's
there's
like
a word
fucking
for it.
anxiety.
Three dumbasses have finally figured out what anxiety means.
If there's a word for it, it's German.
I hope so. Or Portuguese.
It's probably true. It sounds like a really negative thing to experience.
But
It's
anyway,
probably true.
they go to bed, and the guy wakes up in the middle of the night, and he sees the girl getting into her hole, and she's like, "I have to do this," and is going, and he kind of like loses it, like goes bonkers,
Yeah.
and is like, "Well, if I'm remembering correctly, it's been a very long time.
It's been a while since I've read it too. So. But it sounds right.
But he kind of goes bonkers and eventually is like, okay, I'm going to my hole. This hole was made for me. This is my hole. And he gets in. And everybody's like, whoa, that was like the last holdout of somebody that didn't go into their hole. And they're like, wonder what kind of journey all those people are on. But then it cuts.
There's another earthquake.
Yes, there's another earthquake. And the back of the thing is shown now. And it's all wriggles and
distorted
distortion,
shapes,
not human shapes.
Eldritch
horror
shit.
Yeah.
And
Gotcha.
And the first motherfucker that went in is just coming out.
Like you can just start to see the shading, and you hear like sounds coming out of the holes and stuff.
So they've been
gestating.
Yeah.
and they discover.
Oh, they don't. That's where it ends.
They discover. No, it isn't, because they go on to explain that it's a torture device.
Yes.
Used by a previous society.
Yeah.
Okay.
I meant that, that it doesn't show you.
No, it doesn't show you because it wants you to.
It wants you to imagine.
It wants you to have it living up here rent free, and it does.
You know what I just randomly thought of from that whole description for some reason was Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
Oh, I love Johnny. I'm a huge.
Do you do Johnny?
No, I don't.
You never read that one?
No.
All right, so Revy, you have never heard of, seen, read,
Well,
really.
I know the artist. I know
you know him
from
from
shows that have had.
as the artist
yeah.
of-
As far as I know, that's the only.
Well,
show.
maybe that's the only show.
Yeah, live action.
I thought he did one other.
No?
No, I don't. Think
I feel
so.
like he kind of did too. Like it might have been a couple years ago.
Uh-huh.
Let me look into it. I'll look it up. Go ahead and...
But so other than that, though, you've never seen it. So Johnny the Homicidal Maniac was a staple in my goth upbringing.
Okay.
So
I've already failed the goth communities.
So this was
go.
like a lot of the people that I like was friends with in high school when I was coming into like my baby gothhood. Okay. Were really into this comic, and basically it is the psychotic ramblings of a guy who kills people because the basement or the wall in his basement demands blood.
The wall in his basement.
The wall in his basement.
The wall in his basement. And he has these conversations with these people, these sometimes beautifully, existential conversations with them before he just murders them.
Mm-hmm.
And he has this relationship with a girl, and unfortunately, he's one of those toxic characters like Rick Sanchez of Rick and Morty and like Tyler Durden, where a lot of the guys that I was friends with when I was younger. Like,
He's a murderer.
Yeah, but what I mean is like a lot of guys that I was friends with like idolized Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, and it's like, I think that's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah,
I don't think that's what Jonan was going for.
No.
Like for the anime nerds out there, there are edgy characters. Like I'm definitely going to talk about an anime called Overlord.
But it is. He's an
Overlord's
edgelord.
cool.
He's like, and the people that a lot of the people that liked him were huge edgelords too.
Yeah, that's like
before that was like a phrase.
You can call edgelords whenever they reference a specific character, and they're like, "Oh, I wanted to be that character."
Yeah,
and it's like, take two steps back.
Johnny the Homicidal Maniac was.
We've all had, and I think that we've all had disturbing role models, I guess, to an extent.
Sure.
But I feel like you sort of model yourself after them in a fictional way. I don't know. Does that make sense?
We might, but some of these dude bros out there are just kind of like, oh, I like that guy, he's cool. And that he was like, Johnny the Homicidal Maniac was mildly, at least in my upbringing, the goth dude bro that like guys were like, oh yeah, it's like what I'm gonna be like.
So like, the full disclosure, this is probably kind of a disturbing thing to say, but when I was a kid, my invisible friend, my imaginary friend, was like a weird monstrous lizard thing that would like brutally murder people that I didn't like or that would bully me.
Oh yeah, my imaginary friends also killed people for me when I was a kid.
So, there you go. So I don't feel so weird about that now.
No.
My invisible friend, I'm not joking here, was a pterodactyl.
Oh, okay.
That wouldn't kill people, but it would fly overhead of me.
Okay.
And give me anxiety.
I feel like
that's not a friend.
I feel like we need to...
I'm going to use scare quotes here for just a moment.
Hold on. I feel like we definitely now need to do an entire episode on imaginary friends.
Continue though.
Oh no, I think it's funny that yours did your bidding, but
Yeah.
Mine didn't do
It
my
wasn't
bidding.
my
Mine
bidding.
just loved me enough
Yeah.
to protect me.
Exactly, same thing.
Gosh,
I know.
Man.
Dude, let's not do this right now
Yeah.
because it's a whole episode.
I'm just a little bitter.
What was
over
his name?
here.
I had like 7.
Oh,
yeah. Well,
Emmett was mine.
I'll tell you about my mild
my middle
Power
name.
Rangers team of imaginary.
I'm just a little pissed off that you guys had cool ones that did good things for you, whereas mine was just there and an animal I could commune.
Sweetheart, I think that's a. I'm not sure what the psychological
Revy, I think
term.
the point was that like most people, I feel like just talk to their imaginary friends or like have tea parties with them, while ours were off murdering people.
They were protecting me.
Yeah,
They weren't murdering anyone. Okay, they were defending me.
Oh, mine, mine too.
Brutal efficiency.
With brutal efficiency.
murder. I started playing Mortal Kombat when I was 6 years old. Okay, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I looked up Jonan Vasquez, and apparently, he did do some other stuff that I wasn't aware of. He did something called Very Important House, and also he worked on a Ninja Turtles thing called Dawn and Wrath, or Dawn versus Wrath.
That doesn't surprise me, but I have definitely never seen any of these things.
But it wasn't like a separate sort of Invader Zim-esque.
I don't know.
Cartoon.
I'm gonna have to look into it. I don't know anything. about it.
I feel like I also.
But Johnny
saw
the
one that
Homicidal
was,
Maniac was never animated.
Am I?
It was not.
What's his name? What's the effect where you create
Mandela.
Mandela effect.
the Mandela effect. Yeah.
Oh, we could have a fucking field day.
Also another episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry, Vasquez.
You
Yes.
should write that down because Mandela effect is a really good one.
I love talking about
Me
that
too.
So do I. I'm kind of a whore for conspiracy theories.
Oh,
Lots
me
of
too.
make no sense for me. But Jonan Vasquez, let's stick to that because we've already climbed out on 18 different branches.
Yeah.
from our original
I'm like, what's your favorite?
I know that Vasquez has inspired a lot of artists.
Absolutely.
Oh,
and
especially of our
not just
generation,
inspired, but informed and sort of he is the muse to be able to make new art. I follow an artist that does called Vivzy Pop. It's a studio now that does Hell of a Boss.
Yeah, I love Hell of a Boss.
And Has Been Hotel.
Yeah.
But the Hell of a Boss, Moxie, is voiced
Does the
by
voice of
the person that did Invader Zim.
What is his name?
Oh, no, her name.
It's a her?
Wait, no, it
No,
isn't him.
no,
I'm
it's-
sorry, it is.
I just saw them. They also do the dude from Psychonauts. And
Yes,
they,
yes.
They are. I just saw
Tim
like,
Schafer. We could
TikTok
talk
or
about
something.
Tim
Yes,
Schafer.
yes. Oh my goodness.
No,
So
this
many
dude,
ideas.
like, they showed all of the different roles that he had, and it kind of blew
But-
my
Tim
fucking
Schafer
mind, because, like, it was, like, so many voices of my childhood.
Yeah.
But this will give you context.
Sure.
Richard Stephen Horvitz.
Richard's, yeah.
Yeah.
What is it, Stephen Horvitz?
Richard Stephen Horvitz, yep.
Um,
Oh my god, that's right. That was it. He was Alpha 5 in Power Rangers.
Yeah.
So the voice of Invader Zim was Alpha from Power Rangers, and I'm a fucking huge nerd for Power
He's great.
Rangers.
See,
no,
I'm a
he's
bit
so-
older.
Wait, Alpha 5, I. Yeah.
That's Invader Zim.
That's the same
That's
dude.
Yeah.
Invader Zim, which is
Gosh,
also
prolific voice.
Billy of Billy and Mandy. Like,
I can hear that.
He did Billy.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
Billy.
He
He
was
was,
talking like this. Like,
he-
you could definitely hear it.
He was Raz or Rasputin in Psychonauts, the video game. He was Gray Matter in Ben 10. He was like all kinds of. Oh, that's right. He was Daggett in Angry Beavers.
I didn't watch that one.
Angry Beavers.
Yeah. Oh, that was. You might
It's
have
a
been
little
just
after
like
my
a touch
time.
too old. Yeah.
Here's context for me.
I was the Ren and Stimpy era.
I also was Ren and Stimpy
I was
era.
too, but I was like too early to really get Ren and Stimpy, and then like fell into Rugrats. Hey, Real Monsters.
see, now Rugrats, I love-
Real Monsters.
Real Monsters.
The guy that did
Oh,
Rugrats, do you know that the artist that did Rugrats is also the guy that did Aeon Flux?
Get the fuck out of
Wait,
here.
wait.
What?
Huh?
Yeah.
Wait, so the dude that did the like, shaky palsy Rugrats kind of look.
Wait,
did
isn't he a Croatian artist?
I don't know. I don't
fucking clue.
Let me look up his name.
Like that.
Oh man, now I'm digging into my college history for
Yeah.
art history I took a movies and it wasn't a movies. It was cartoons specifically.
Oh, that's really
and it was
fucking
really
cool.
cool. And we went over so many different artists. But I feel like there was a weird fact about Rugrats that he was like.
His name is Peter Chung. He's a Korean American.
Definitely doesn't sound Croatian.
He's not Croatian.
Not Croatian.
Korean.
Maybe he based the art off of a Croatian artist or something like
Yeah.
that, because I
don't know.
remember it coming up in the class.
But I love Aeon Flux, and like
I've only seen the movie.
oh my
the
god,
live action film.
terrible.
Guys, come on, guys. It basically, if it was animated in anywhere like east of India, I haven't seen it.
My favorite Aeon Flux stuff is the stuff that came even before the series from Liquid Television.
Yeah.
When it was silent.
Yep.
Oh my god, I love that shit.
Um.
You had to interpret what you were seeing. But I'm a huge fan of any surrealistic, like...
I got out of Nickelodeon
Yeah.
at around the time that Invader Zim and SpongeBob and stuff.
I couldn't like SpongeBob. I would was the crest of my puberty, basically.
Yeah.
Where I was young enough when SpongeBob started, so I enjoyed SpongeBob very early on and into my early high school years. But then just kind of bowed out.
I had an ex-girlfriend that was obsessed with SpongeBob.
I knew a lot of people that were, you know.
But it was a little bit after my time. She was a little younger than me. And now my son, he loves SpongeBob. It's one of his favorite shows.
It's a classic now.
Oh, it's great.
something
It's a
like
great
that,
show.
you know?
It just, I was
Don't say
not...
it like that. Don't say it like that.
Oh, sweetheart, there are things in our lives that are now classics.
I don't want to
okay?
think of
They
SpongeBob as
are-
a classic.
Harry Potter's a classic. That's something that came out in our lifetime. It's a classic.
It's a classic.
It might suck. It kind of mildly suck.
I
but
know they're talking about doing a series.
we're not going to get into that right now.
Oh my god!
I do want to come back.
Oh yes, sorry. I can't stand the idea of things that have happened in my time as a class.
That is actually a great idea for an episode.
Yeah,
Things in our lifetime
We're
that have now
really
become
hitting it
classics.
off on
We are.
episode.
Yeah.
We are. Listen to all of the ideas we have.
I'm going to listen back to this and make a list.
Yeah.
Right. Oh,
But
please do.
Before we move on from Jonan Vasquez
Yes,
to wherever
yeah.
we're going to go, I just did want to mention that I thought it was very interesting, and somebody made a mistake, I think, when they hired Jonan Vasquez to do a
children's
TV show.
Especially after Johnny the Homicidal Maniac
got-
did his thing before that.
So it got one. What was it? It was one season, right? Before it got axed.
What are we talking about?
that's a great question.
Invader Zim.
I don't think Invader Zim is for little kids.
That was on
It was a
Nickelodeon,
Nickelodeon television.
Like-
it was right next to Fairly Odd Parents.
Wasn't Fairly Odd Parents supposed to be for slightly older kids?
So here's the
Maybe.
thing. I feel like shows like that were for the 9 to 12-ish crowd. I feel like that's when
Yeah,
those
but
shows.
Invader Zim is for the I just smoked a lot of weed and I need something to watch while I come down crowd.
Yes, but it came out before a lot of our generation were in the I need to smoke weed.
But I was watching I was
watching.
watching interviews and stuff where they were like, yeah, somebody hired this guy, not realizing what he did.
So
The type of stuff he did and hired him to do it. And then there's robots plucking people's eyeballs out and stealing other children's organs because Zim is convinced that whoever has the most organs is the best. This is not okay for kids. And
but wasn't
what did you expect from the guy that wrote Johnny the Homicidal Maniac?
You're saying this about Invader Zim, and yet you mentioned Ren and Stimpy earlier, which is one of the most filthy, into my adult years, one of the most filthy fucking cartoons that I've ever watched.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Here's another one: Rocco's Modern Life.
I agree completely. I remember watching that in college and seeing
Rocco.
a joke.
Oh, Rocco.
Oh my gosh, you guys do that really well.
Oh my god, you want Bev Big Head?
Wash the page.
Bev will give you big head, honey.
About this one. Wash the page. Turn your hands. Wash the page? Turn your hands.
Yeah, no, that was
great.
No, that was Filbert.
That was
Filbert.
perfect.
And Filbert went,
Yeah.
turn the page, wash your hands.
Oh, that's
turn
right.
the page, wash your hands.
I was doing it wrong.
Yeah.
He's right. That's what it was.
Turn the page.
I'm mixing Filbert and the
Heifer
big heads.
with choky chicken.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ,
Choky
right?
chicken?
Again,
my god. How
full
did that get
episode of
passed?
Tamales
Children's
make my
cartoon.
bottom burble. Here's the thing. So Bev Bighead is also. Have you guys done Venture Brothers?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
She's also
Oh yeah, Dr. Girlfriend.
Which, like, before I realized any of this, well, basically, I think that Bev Bighead inspired my martini and a menthol voice, because that's just what this was. She was the bitch that sat there and talked shit on everyone.
And I feel like both of them are like vaguely Harvey Firestein.
Oh, that's exactly what the fuck they are. That's exactly what they are. Like, yeah, I need you to make me a woman. Oh, honey. You know? All of them queer icons now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bev Bighead and Dr. Girlfriend, and obviously Harvey Firestein, you know? Yeah, that's an entire episode in and of itself, the filth that was in our children's cartoons as we grew up. And no wonder we're into things like we are now, Patrick, you know?
And it works, too, that I think we come from... We're almost, like, staggered as far as our childhoods go, because I was born in the early 80s.
What year were you born?
82.
And you were?
85.
And I was 88.
Yeah, so
we're
3
years
over the
apart.
80s.
82, 85,
Oh, that's
and 88.
so wild.
Yeah, we're exactly 3 years apart, each of us.
And as much as we're close in age,
right.
media changes so much.
Oh my God, no.
It's so different from the beginning of the 80s to the end of the 80s.
Yes.
It's so different from the beginning of the 90s to the end of the 90s.
Absolutely.
Like,
Well,
those two generations, I feel like there was some stagnancy in like the 50s, 60s, and 70s where like not a lot really...
You know, I would almost
I
argue...
get a name for that. Go ahead, I'm just joking.
Oh, I was going to say that I would argue that there's more to compare between 80 and like 86 or 87 and 87 to like 93 or 94.
Why do you think that is?
Than what? Because you said...
Between each other.
Because we were talking about how the beginning of the 80s and the end of the 80s was so different, and the beginning of the 90s and the end of the 90s. I was going to say, I think the sort of beginning and middle point of the 80s are similar. The late 80s into the early 90s is another period. And then the mid-90s to the end of them.
I would agree with that, yeah.
Why? Why do you think that happened? I have a theory.
Look at this. Another episode.
I'm excited. I'm excited to know, and then we're not going to talk about it because it's another episode.
No. Yeah. We'll talk about it right now because I have a theory. I want to see what you had because I thought you were going somewhere with it. I wanted to see if you were on the same page.
The thing that I would point out is that was Reagan.
Mm. So okay, you went a completely different direction than me.
Sorry, again, we're going political.
You went the political route.
That was Reagan into Bush into Clinton.
Well, and there's also in that time frame you have, for me, the way that I look at it is like culturally, because like the early 80s that you're talking about still had a severe influence of the 70s on them, both like fashion wise and culturally, art, that kind of thing, writing styles, and then you get to like that period of the 80s, which is, you know, like almost a like Wall Street indulgent like second wave of needing to meet or keep up with the Joneses or whoever the fuck they were.
Yeah.
And you know, like let's try and outdo each other and accrue a lot of debt, and then like you
gluttonous capitalism.
And then you have into the 90s where like, you know, the middle class was still thriving at that time, and they were able to like do all of these things because like my early adolescence, like how my family did and what they were able to achieve was significantly more than in basically where that split was that you said, almost that like 93, 94, like there's cultural shifts I think that you're right on that. I think that there's a cultural shift every so many years, and it's almost been like when you hit the speed pad in a racing game, you know, like just kind of like shoots the next
So
era.
where was the cutoff for you? You said 80.
Oh, I had said like 80 to 80 like 6
to 86
or 80.
You know what I immediately thought of, and maybe I'm wrong, but culturally, at least from my point of view, because growing up as a kid who was into tech and stuff, video game industry changed ridiculously.
Yes.
Was that NES?
Well, not even that. You're talking about 82 to 86. That's the arcade era.
And then, like, you were blessed enough to probably be in the Atari era there at some point.
And 86 was the beginning of the home console era.
Mm-hmm. Because I remember whenever I was younger, me and my sister, when I was probably about 5 or 6, my cousins had a Sega and our neighbors had a Sega. We wanted Sega. And so I remember, like, me and my sister begged my parents for it. They balked at it, and I remember my dad one night going and finding a box in, like, our storage area, bringing it up and plopping it down in front of us and getting it connected and going, "This is an Atari.
Mm-hmm.
You will play this."
Yeah.
And so, like, my first video games were Centipede and Tank and Asteroid and shit like that.
Joust.
So I didn't actually...
Pong. Yeah, Joust.
I played the same games, but I actually had a Commodore 64, which was a real early 8-bit computer system.
I feel like I'm familiar with that just vaguely, though.
My family had an Atari, a Commodore 64, and
that's so cool.
And an Apple III.
What year? Like how early?
It was when I lived in California because my dad was a salesman.
Yeah.
So that would have been late 80s.
Yeah, probably.
We're talking like 80, 89.
Yeah, Apple. It was probably Apple III.
89, maybe 90.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And then we gave all of that up for an NES whenever we moved to Michigan.
My dad worked for New Jersey Bell back when it was still New Jersey Bell before it became... what was it originally? It was New Jersey...
It
NJ
probably
Bell.
became Bell Telephone.
Then it became Bell Atlantic.
Yeah, my grandmother worked for the same company.
I think it ended up... And then
it was
eventually...
it was like one of those that like it conglomerated.
Yeah, now it's Verizon.
Right, exactly. Same. Like
Wait,
my grandmother...
Verizon is Bell?
Yeah, it was.
Used to be, yeah. Bell
Really?
Telephone, yep.
I didn't know that they rebranded.
Yeah,
My grandmother worked for Bell Telephone literally her entire life.
Yeah, my dad did too.
Yeah.
So he had access to, even though we grew up poor, I always had access to computers. And I didn't realize that was a thing. Like, to me, that was just normal. That was my childhood.
Right.
And so, like, I didn't
It
realize
was the standard.
that I was being given something that was special.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I literally learned to code in BASIC as I learned to read. And to me, that was just...
That's why.
That was just normal. You know? And when I talk to other people on their experiences from the 80s, they're like, we didn't have computers. My first time I ever played a video game was Super Mario Brothers. I grew up with, like, Pac-Man and you know, Centipede and stuff like that.
Well,
and this was stuff they all played in the arcades, but they never played at home.
And so I feel like in an interesting way, I grew up in kind of an early sense of computer games because what was the video game that I had met? Halloween Harry?
Yeah.
Harry Halloween?
No, Halloween Harry.
Halloween Harry. But like shit like that and Jazz Jackrabbit and like stuff that were like completely computer games.
Apogee.
Like,
they're Apogee games. It was a ID software before it became ID. They were the guys that created Doom.
And Doom was also one of those early ones, but I think my earliest were legitimately like Atari games.
Mm-hmm.
How the fucking Christ? How the fuck? I have to ask this. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How the fuck did we get from
Buttholes?
Aragoro? I remembered it.
The King of Kings from the Ring of all those dudes.
I understand how we got from Aragoro to like a Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, but now we are on like super vintage games.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we got onto this
because these are all things that we enjoy.
Yeah.
The problem is that we...
I'm so glad that we branded this as a neurodivergent podcast really early on.
I really hope that whoever's listening to this is like taking that deeply into consideration.
Sarah,
but I also feel like there are many people that would listen to this and be like, I know what you were talking about.
Yes.
Go back to it.
Yeah,
Shut the fuck up and go back to it.
I'm one of those people. I'm in the room and I'm one of those people.
The problem is that I keep on getting these lightning bolts.
Yes.
Of like...
Oh yeah, that thing.
Aragoro.
Yeah.
Pornography with body parts being ripped off. Yeah. We need to get back to this.
See, my problem is like, what an interesting thing to talk about. And I could talk about this for minutes.
But we won't. All right.
We're going to go on to the next subject.
We'll talk about vintage bullshit another time.
Again,
we'll talk about it. I want to know about erotic... Grotesque.
Okay, so
we were talking about Junji Ito.
No, that's fair.
And the holes. And hey, that was
end on talking.
Let's
about
end on the conversation.
Is that kind of like what we're Talk.
It is and it isn't. So, well, like I said, like Junji Ito borders on Erogoro.
Okay.
Right.
How I found out about
It's like Erogoro light.
Well, some of his stuff is more
Okay,
so.
so diet Erogoro.
Okay. So, are you familiar with Uzumaki?
The only Uzumaki.
Oh, is
I'm
that where you
familiar with
like, you know,
is
like
Naruto
bend somebody
Uzumaki.
over but come on their face from behind?
Yeah, maybe.
Wait.
No,
No, it was
No.
made up. Moving on.
Uzumaki means spiral, and it's
Holy shit! That's why Naruto's symbol has a big spiral on it.
Did you just figure that out?
Oh shit! I just had a huge realization.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, that's
I am
why.
checked out of this conversation
Yeah.
for now.
Okay, so
I know what Uzumaki is. It's a swirl.
Yeah. Yes. That's what Uzumaki means.
Let's talk about the swirl, guys.
So Uzumaki is probably Junji Ito's most well-known manga.
Okay.
And I guess from your reaction that you've never read Uzumaki.
I've not read the manga.
All right. Are you familiar with Gyo? Or Gyo, I think it's actually pronounced, the one with the
I
fish.
don't know why the fuck you're looking at me.
No, because
Do you find inspiration in my eyes?
I'm sorry. We're talking about anime, and my brain jumps to
Yeah.
make connections. And whenever you said Gyo,
Yeah.
all I could think of, no, it was me, Dio, from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're gonna have to bear with us.
It'll happen.
JoJo's a great show.
Patrick, assume that neither of us have seen Uzumaki.
Well,
or Gyo.
to be fair, Uzumaki does not have an anime adaptation yet.
Seen
it's
in the
been-
sense of seen the physical media.
Okay. So so Uzumaki is it's a manga about spirals. And I know that sounds really ridiculous, but and that's kind of the thing with Junji Ito is that his work is nightmarish. And when I say nightmarish, I mean really nightmarish, because when people use the word nightmarish to describe something, I feel like it doesn't do it justice, because true nightmares a lot of the time
Don't make sense.
Yeah. They're very disjointed, and so when they're abstract. So when you say to somebody like, I had this really weird nightmare, most of the time it's like I'm trying to explain something to you and you're like, what the fuck are you even talking about? That's a real nightmare.
You had to be there
for it to be scary.
Yeah.
Like I had a cat and it was half invisible and I could see its organs, and then there were these
Actually, the
things falling out of the
scariest
sky. And,
funny enough, just like side note here, the scariest nightmares I've ever had were so narrative that I could tell you about them.
Yeah.
Ooh, also a good episode. That's a fucking great episode.
God, I hope everybody at home
He
has
already-
taken out their little tablets.
No, Patrick already said that he's gonna like.
Well,
go
I know.
through it.
While I'm editing, I'll make a list.
I'm hoping everybody is excited about all these episodes.
Yeah.
Stories, because you could be taking notes and being like, oh, when are we going to talk about
These are coming up.
nightmares?
See, I could talk about dreams and nightmares for literally hours. I have had some fucking crazy shit happen to me in my dreams.
So Ito's work is often very disjointed, and it creates nightmarish things from the mundane. And so it's not what people mean when they say nightmarish. Oh, it was demonic and there was fire and brimstone. It's not scary in that like conventional sense.
Right.
It's more like there was a balloon outside my window with my face on it when I woke up.
That's terrifying, though.
And that's an actual Ito story.
But that is actually
yeah.
like that's the kind of shit that like if like in a dream
Existential dread.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Well, it's almost like that kind of
He's
thing.
a
It's almost
master.
like the eye at the door. Or I was terrified of like waking up. I lived on the third floor of an apartment building growing up. I was terrified of looking out my black window that had no blinds or curtains and just seeing a pair of eyes looking at me.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what that reminds me.
It's that sort of thing.
You just gave me chills going on my spine.
Yeah, and see,
Like,
but
goosebumps all over.
I hate and love that though.
Yeah,
like
me
that's the kind of like horror that I want to like make my butthole pucker
It's so
and my
scary.
nipples
Okay.
hard, you know?
On the subject of horror, because I'm not a big horror person, that's the horror that I do enjoy.
Yeah.
And that's the one that I want to get more into. So you guys are going to be my Sherpa for that.
Well, I'm not going to be your Sherpa. I'm going to be like your the co-learner.
Okay.
On that because
Stick around, baby, because that's where this ride goes.
One of my goals with this podcast is I want to get to the level that the two of you can show me, sit with me and help me through some of these movies. There's two that I really want to watch that are somewhat nightmarish.
Okay.
The Babadook.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And also It Follows.
Yes.
I love It Follows.
Oh, those are both excellent choices.
How about Jacob's Ladder?
Never heard of it.
No, that is exactly up the kind of like.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Tim Robbins. Yes.
Yeah, I think
that's what I want to get into. So I really like I'm engaged now because it's like, hell yeah, this is what I want to get into.
Well, and I want you guys to do that with me for like anime and manga and stuff, and be like, this is like let's try and get you into this like thing that like might fit like your tastes.
So Uzumaki, just bringing it back to where we were. Just
spirals.
Yeah, it means spiral. So in the story, and without going too much into it, because if you are into horror, you're into anime, you're into manga, whatever, this is the pinnacle of Junji Ito's work. It is so unnerving. It's just about spirals. And it's so weird that he can make spirals so scary. Because it's the idea that this town is slowly becoming obsessed with spirals in different ways. And that nobody knows why. And there's this couple, again, they're not the main characters, the spirals are the main characters. And that this couple are they're the narration. It's actually very similar to what Lovecraft used to do.
I was gonna talk about Lovecraft whenever I got an opportunity, because I'm thinking about like the sort of existential dread, the unknown, the fact that you can't describe it, and so
there's
things
no
aren't physically described.
Basically, like if our sponsor was anything tonight, like all of this brought to you by H.P. Lovecraft, because like that's none of the kind of thing that we're talking about here.
I'm
also like side note, H.P. Lovecraft, patu.
Oh yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Absolutely.
No, fuck.
Racist
I hope he.
But extremely.
He's burning in hell. But I love his work.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like.
No, it could be argued that he's the father.
The
grandfather of modern horror.
Not into a lot of horror, but I do enjoy some written horror. And Lovecraft with and Mountains of Madness.
Very few things scare me, but existential dread gets under my skin.
Yeah, I get that too, and more than that is we were earlier talking about Doom. One of my earliest video games was Quake.
Oh, I love Quake.
And Quake, the first one, had a lot of Lovecraft.
Oh, sure.
Oh, really?
Oh my god.
So does Half-Life. The one we were playing earlier.
But just so many. Well, like I had no fucking clue what it was when I was playing it at 9 and 8 years old. But Shub Nagaroth and stuff like that was like.
Fingli Magluna Thulu Relie Wagnog Fatagen Relie. Sorry.
Okay, so I don't know why I just.
I'll cut that out.
I feel like I just came and shit myself at the same time.
I felt like I was shitting and coming.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
No, I understand that. No. I was into it.
Yeah, no, so was I.
Just now?
Yeah, do it again.
No, like my nipples are kind of hard.
I was going to say, I just outed myself as the biggest horror ever.
Oh, I love that, actually. That was fantastic. No, that was fantastic.
Was that... That wasn't Rats in the Walls.
No, it was the Call of Cthulhu.
Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah. I said...
I can never remember...
my Cthulhu has been called, honey.
I think the translation is in the Sunken City of Relie, Dead Cthulhu Lies Dreaming.
Do you remember the like nonsense that Rats in the Walls descended to?
Oh, I love it.
It's iconic as well.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Rats in the Walls. Did I ever? This is kind of off subject. It's a little bit like we need to wrap it up. But like, I've told you a little bit about my work.
You said that you felt inspired from it.
Rats in the Walls was a huge inspiration. So the whole in my novels, like the idea of the concubium, the darkness between realities and stuff, that was inspired by Lovecraft, 100%.
Well, I mean, that entire fucking statement that you just gave me was just Lovecraft. Yeah. But then also, if you like really, if we want to touch on that, Lovecraft was inspired by like Celtic lore and crap like that, because like everything that you just was also fairy lore, you know, like yeah, that again, another whole episode brought to you by the Left Hand Society.
Well, okay, but that's another thing. And obviously, I have to get back to
these are conversations that if we went onto these, we could talk about.
You're also, that's something that you haven't talked about either, is that you are, and it's a place where you and I kind of like overlap, is because we're both very, very into mythology.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
All three of us.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know you were.
I feel like mythology is the first thing as a young neurodivergent nerd that you get into. Yeah. You know, because I'm a fucking whore for mythology.
Me too.
Yeah, a lot of it too. Like, there's very few mythologies I don't know much
I'm a
about.
whore for lore.
I love lore.
There's our first T-shirt. Whore for lore.
Yeah, I am. I'm obsessed.
We're all lore whores in this
house.
Yes, and it's funny because like my girlfriend is really, really into Magic the Gathering. I'm saying this to you guys like you don't know this, but obviously,
right? No, just for the audience out there.
But Sarah's really into Magic the Gathering, and the funny thing is, the first thing she does, like, so I used to play it a long time ago, and I got back into it playing with her on Wednesdays and stuff. That's actually how I met Revy.
Yeah,
but because Revy is actually
I'm big into
is very big into Magic.
MTG.
So
that's one of my I
had like a 10-year gap, or 10 or 15-year gap between when I played Magic last.
I know less about Magic than I do about anime.
But so she started. She's like, oh, we got to play Magic together and stuff. Like, yes, okay, I will start building a new Magic decks and things. And so we threw together a new Sliver deck and blah blah blah. But I immediately was like, okay, I need to learn all the lore. I need to learn where Urza came from and all the, you know what I mean? Like, and she's like, I don't care about any of that stuff. I just want to play the game.
That's so weird because, like, I couldn't get into it for the longest time because the lore was sort of trapped.
Are we talking about Magic here?
Magic Gathering.
Because Magic is, I have had no less than 8 people try and get me into Magic, and it's just not my bag,
your thing.
Baby.
It's just not
my bag.
I can't imagine making a deck with a character. Like, because we only play Commander, it's a very specific type
If you
of
didn't
Magic
know
the
who that character
If I didn't know who the character was, I have no connection.
Sarah doesn't give a fuck.
Give a fuck?
Exactly.
Sarah doesn't give a fuck. She cares more about and
the mechanics
to her. She's more concerned about the mechanics and how well that character's going to do.
Yeah.
To me, I want to tell a story.
Right.
Because that's what everything I do.
That's funny you would say that because like as much as I don't know about Magic, I know that there are certain like kind of themes and things that like go into it. And Brian has wanted to build me a moon deck for Everclear, and like and I've like he's been like, ooh, so I'm thinking about this or that for your deck, and I've been like, that one. You know, and I'm like, I almost want like several decks of Magic cards that fit me as a theme and be like, you're my champion, play this for me. I'm not going to play it. Yeah. You know, but like somebody else can play it for me because it confuses me and it just doesn't work for me.
Yeah, if you're not into it, you're not into it. Yeah. I mean, like there's plenty of other stuff we overlap in all different places. But so anyway, I think the point was that it's all about lore with me. If it has good lore, I'm obsessed with, my son actually just walked into the room and he is probably, other than myself, the biggest Five Nights at Freddy's fan I know. And we're both into the lore.
Oh, that's something I'd like to get into, honestly.
Oh, yeah?
I was saying earlier whenever we were talking about it that, like, it's something that
that's, like, the kind of horror that I'm like, fuck right.
Oh, yeah, let's play it then.
Because I went to Chuck E. Cheese as a kid. They scared the shit out
to
of me.
Be fair, dude, Steve, you just made me really happy because, honestly, I would love another adult to talk to about it because I tried to get Sarah into it, and she doesn't like it.
No, I would totally be into trying that out.
You want to say hi, Rye?
Hello.
Yeah. That's my son talking. That's Ryland.
I'm also Ryborg 10K.
Oh, yeah.
You know me as.
So, yeah, he's Ryborg 10K on YouTube if you want to.
Yeah.
He's a shameless plug for Ryland there.
You're probably more famous than we are.
Yeah.
No, darling. Sorry.
Oh, fuck off. I meant, like, in the podcasting realm.
Yeah.
Highlight of my week, overshadowing a 12-year-old.
You remember I told you about that? Good. Bravo.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go home and kill myself.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody knows about my ska band that I was a part of for like 2 years.
Yeah. I was in a metal
God.
band. I was in a new metal band.
Oh my god, guys, another episode.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah, all right,
claim
fine.
to fame. Like,
Our 15 seconds.
All right, let me end on this because I was starting to tell a story and I never finished it.
This is our
We've-
biggest problem.
yeah.
We're
All right.
so bad at
So,
this.
Ito, Uzumaki, what was I talking about?
Wait, you were
okay.
You were trying to get back to that, but I
was. I was trying to finish on
trying
this.
to get back.
I was trying to finish on
were you?
the Aragoro
I
stuff.
thought you were trying to
Yeah,
finish on
yeah.
my tits. This is the problem with
Yeah,
being
it
like,
is
we're a
the problem.
neurodivergent podcast with alcohol involved.
Yeah. So, the point I was going to make about Uzumaki
Yes.
is that there
Is
are
that an
things. It's going to be an anime. It's a manga thing.
Oh, okay.
So like people would become obsessed with spirals in different ways. The spirals inside of your ears. There was a character that like deafened themselves.
Oh, so you're talking about like
Literal spirals.
spirals, like
Slicing off their fingerprints because they were like disturbed by the fact that there were spirals invading their bodies. Things like that.
Okay.
Yeah. This guy started making clay pots with spirals embedded
in the clay.
in the clay.
That's gorgeous.
And like training himself to be able to spiral his eyes in opposite directions. And like it was just
Oh,
very weird
Jesus
stuff.
Christ.
Yeah. So like exactly.
Actually, that one bothers me.
Yeah, I know that
Yeah,
last
that
one. I was into it up until that.
really
the
had
manga.
a visual response to
read
that.
the manga. He will find ways to bother you.
Oh,
And
I
it's
love that,
it's like things that you would never expect. It's not normal shit. It's not like, oh, he's possessed by the devil. It's like things that nobody has ever put down before. And you go, what am I reading? And there's a point when you're reading Junji Ito where you start to feel greasy. Where you're like,
just slimy.
you know what I mean? And so it just kind of. But when he gets into the erotic stuff, then it borders on like Aragoro. And so I kind of fell down that rabbit hole, and I'm like, ooh, this is real greasy down here. What is going on down here?
I'm in the oil pits.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have found the ooze.
And
at
I
the
have
bottom of the
and I
pits.
have a tendency not to come up from those holes. Like I get down there, most people go, "Oh, I need to turn back now." I just keep going full steam ahead.
This is your hole.
This is my hole.
This is your hole.
It was
What was
made
the other
for
side?
me.
For you.
It
Oh,
was
that was
made.
it.
This is my hole. It was
Yeah.
made for me. So yeah, that's essentially it. And so
we can't leave the episode up.
No, we really can't.
we can that be the last line of the episode? This is my hole. It was made
I
for
mean,
me.
hey, maybe.
Yeah, but let's
No.
try and work it in
Okay.
instead of ending on that note.
No, I think
okay.
we need to make our toast.
So
yeah.
way before we get to that, we
Okay.
can't leave it off on this because
We're like an hour and a half in, so we gotta wrap it up.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna have to.
Shortly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
I want to know like what it is exactly that you're into. I want like recommendations for your this awful thing.
Oh my god.
That's a great way to end that.
Oh, that's. I mean. To be honest with you, I wish I could answer that on the air.
Is this illegal?
No, God, no, of course not.
You're gonna make everybody, when they're done listening to this, go take a hour-long shower.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, I'm gonna have to get back to you on it because I could give you a list of stuff that I've read, but I don't know all the artists' names and stuff off the top of my head.
You'll have to
sprinkle
those in.
I mean, I know I there's a couple that I can think of off the top of my head, but it was on
Like titles?
No, I can't think of titles.
Well, at this point, pause.
Yeah.
And then Patrick inserts list of things that he researched after our recording.
Okay, that's fair. I'll insert
because
some stuff
we
here.
totally could do like recommendations.
Yeah.
At the end of
Okay.
an
I'll give some
episode.
recommendations.
Yeah.
Recommendations.
Because I'm also really intrigued by that too. Because
Yeah.
like this is shit that like I would be interested in.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm it's probably going to ruin my Google searches. I might have to do an incognito mode for
sweetheart,
these.
my Google search has been ruined since
Oh,
2009.
no.
The FBI is still looking for me.
Right.
Jesus. Yeah. I was going to say, like...
Yeah.
I'm also mildly a writer, so there have been things that I have looked up that I'm like, the FBI has.
Oh God! Can I tell a really quick story? You just made me think of this.
Yeah.
So
26 seconds. Go.
Years ago, I worked for a company called Protection One, and they literally were like, they pulled me into the office and they were like, "Listen, you're really qualified for this. You're really good with computers and stuff, but we have some questions about your internet browser history." And like, you seem to do a lot of research into how to kill people, how to get rid of bodies, and explosive powders. Do you mind explaining those things? And I was like, I am a horror writer and a magician. I work with explosives in my magician work, and I do all kinds of research into dark subjects. And they were like, okay, that makes sense.
Revy.
Yeah.
That sounds like the exact kind of excuse a serial killer would have. That is not the laugh a serial killer would have, though. That's a Disney villain laugh.
Yeah,
Get
okay,
your shit
fine.
straight.
How about this?
Yeah. No, that's just a pervert.
You sound like
Yeah, that was
no. You sound like you stubbed your toe or something.
all right.
Well, I think that as this podcast goes on, we will have a structure of some sort.
Well, those are big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
I feel like we need somebody that is standing there with a cue card that is just shut up, wrap it up, do something with this.
I'm making the hand motion, but I realize that you can't hear it.
Well,
Because this is also how our first podcast went.
So
Yes.
I don't know.
I believe it was.
I guess.
I believe as we wrap up a podcast, we had a thing to say.
Yep. Yes.
As Rock.
Yeah.
As Rock. So Spock. Okay. You know what? Together.
Yes.
Yes.
As Rock. So Spock. See you next time.
Later, guys.
Good luck.